Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to the NBA Ballers trilogy. Look, I know, I'm supposed to be doing NBA Ballers Chosen One. Look, I know we supposed to end off the trilogy with NBA Ballers, but we holding off on that for right now. I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna definitely get back to it, but I want to finish up my NBA Elite 11 review. I've been holding that off for too long. I need to finish that up and get that to y'all so we can move on to our next NBA Live game. So before I do anything else, NBA Elite 11 must be done. Once I get that review done, we will move on to NBA Ballers, the next NBA Live, and so on and so forth. So yeah, man, without further ado, let's get right into this.
One of the things that you can criticize Midway Sports games was that they never really evolved or changed all that much. Blitz is blitz, through and through. Even the games where they added steroid use and testicle tears was still just core blitz gameplay with edgy seasoning at the end of the day. You can make the same argument for their NBA games. After NBA Jam, we got more NBA Jam just under different names.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. We are back.
NBA Hang Time, NBA Showtime, not bad games at all, but with the PS2 out and the shift away from simplistic arcade games, Midway decided to give us something a little different.
Let's do this!
NBA Ballers, otherwise known as Basketball Bonking Simulator. This is an NBA game but with a street ball twist, and while this has been done before, NBA Ballers focuses on the individual players. You don't just play in a random street park, you can play in Kevin Garnett's house. Players have their own house you can play at, which puts some personality into the game, and each character has their own streetwear. They really did put a big emphasis on the off-the-court glamour. I mean, look at these loading screens. Graphically, I think
These ain't nothing but the All-Star pictures, bro. This is nothing but All-Star Weekend pictures. They took them off Getty Images and just put them in the game. Fuck out of here.
NBA Ballers looks pretty damn good. I'm impressed with these character models. Like, this is Allen Iverson. Like, that's him. Gameplay is pretty good. You have this juice meter, and no, not that kind of juice. This is essentially turbo. No, not that kind of turbo. This is what makes the game go round, and you have a surprisingly big arsenal of moves to do. You could bounce the ball off of someone's head, go for an alley-oop. You could bounce the ball off of someone's head into an alley-oop.
That shit is so disrespectful.
Passes to yourself off the backboard, and this. This is a move that the kids in middle school who didn't know how to dribble would do. Not speaking from experience, of course. All of these moves have a purpose though. Doing regular moves with the square button knocks the defender back, leading to easier opportunities for a basket. There's also these act a fool moves. Now there is another purpose to this, and this is to fill up this piss-colored meter. This is the house meter, and Corey ain't in it, and neither is Gregory. This gets built up by doing these moves, and the best way to do these moves is to combo them together. Your combo is represented by these good noodle stars, and the more you have when you score, the bigger your combo, and the bigger your meter. And when it's full, you have a chance to bring down this Temu backboard.
Hurry up with that shot!
This doesn't even make any sense in the context of a real life game. You win by doing this no matter the circumstance. So it's like, yeah, the backboard fell, but you were still losing. You lost. Another thing is that every player feels somewhat different because they all have certain things they can or can't do. Some players can't do alley-oops, some players don't have shooting hotspots, some players can goaltend without punishment. Well, that's actually kind of stupid. But these unique differences make the game feel, well, unique. On the defensive side of the ball, you have some options. Just like in the old NBA Jam games, you have the option to push, or in this case, fucking throw someone.
Gotcha, bitch!
But each time you do, you earn a foul. 5 fouls and your opponent goes to the free throw line with epic music in the background.
Take the lead.
But on defense, you have a counter button. Pressing and holding it, you can take a charge, which gives the ball carrier a foul, and you get possession of the ball. The counter can also be used against guys trying to throw their balls in your face.
Hey, yo,
And
pause.
whenever they go for these act the fool moves, you can counter it and get the ball back. The game's fun, especially playing with other people. Even the little things like these little animations that Midway games always do so well. It just gives these games so much more personality. I think the gameplay in NBA Ballers is pretty great. It does enough to separate itself from the NBA Jam DNA while still having some of its spirit. NBA Ballers has a single player story mode called Rags to Riches, and this mode kinda sucks balls. TV execs are complaining about low ratings, so they start this show where a no-name player goes up against NBA players. The cutscenes are weird. They're just these still renders of the in-game models. Like, what happened? Did they run out of time or what? This looks so dumb. So pretty much you play tournaments, aka arcade ladders, until you reach the end with some cutscenes, quote unquote, in between. I like the little TV guide listing for the menus, kinda nostalgic. After every game, your stats get upgraded, but it's based on how you played, which is annoying because it's hard for me to upgrade 3-point shooting because I have to shoot threes in order to upgrade it, and I can't make those threes because my stats are shit. You can upgrade your own crib, even going as far as controlling the weather. Like, how do you do that? This story mode is meh. It's just a bunch of 1v1s for the most part. They try and vary it up a little bit with these stipulations like no fouls or keep your opponent under a certain amount of points. But it can get very repetitive without any sort of variety in the gameplay. But that's NBA Ballers, a very good first entry that hits on the gameplay and has a meh story. But there was a sequel.
The sequel was better, but the soundtrack in the first one was better. I like the soundtrack on the first NBA Ballers, but the second NBA Ballers, the soundtrack was ass, but the gameplay was phenomenal.
NBA Ballers Phenom. I have very little experience with this. As a kid, I only ever played the first Ballers and none of the sequels, so I don't know what to expect here. NBA Ballers Phenom would release 2 years later after the original NBA Ballers, and it's the exact same game. No joke. In terms of the gameplay, I can't even add anything new to say in the slightest outside of some new animations here and there. They added 2v2 gameplay and it's alright. You can tell Ballers was made without team gameplay in mind. For instance, you can't switch to your teammate on defense because the X button is the counter button, so you're just locked onto one character on defense. Also, the combo system wasn't implemented with this in mind. Imagine swapping back and forth between teammates building a combo between the two of them. Well, you can't do that. As soon as you pass the ball to your teammate, your combo is treated like a Mike Goldberg catchphrase because it is all over. There's also this thing where the inbound pass is constantly thrown away, and I don't really understand why this happens to the computer as well. But it's a decent attempt, they just need to iron some things out. The main thing that was added, and I assume where 95% of the development time went to, was the story mode. The story mode stars people like Chauncey Billups, Ludacris, and N1 Street Baller Hot Sauce. We have some motion, ladies and gentlemen. No more having the story told through Microsoft PowerPoint presentations. We have real cutscenes. The story itself is alright. Like, I never know how to talk about the narrative of a mid-2000s sports game because it's always just, there's a bad guy. In this case, it's Hot Sauce and his girlfriend, who is your ex. And you go through challenges where you eventually face off with him one-on-one and win. There's some weird things like Chauncey Billups' voice is kind of flat.
I've been peeping your game. You win one more tournament this afternoon, I got 2 tickets for you to tonight's finals game.
Like, I'm not going to criticize him too much. It's fine, especially for the time. And trust me when I say that this isn't even the worst voice acting in a NBA game.
Need you to score like you did tonight. Look for your shot. If we need you to lock a full down on D, you do that. Keep thinking like that, and we're gonna be tough to beat.
Man.
Also, your character's girlfriend just comes out of nowhere, and I don't think she even has a name. There's this other bit where you stand up for this one dude, and it's implied that you will team up with him, but you never do, at least in the stuff that I was able to play. What was the purpose of this dude? But
To give you somebody to pass the ball to in game.
Fundamentally different from the last game. The last game throws arcade ladders at you, and this one does as well, but they have these open hub worlds. You can jump in this. and pull out a basketball like a sword. These areas are filled with collectibles. Some are hidden by throwing your ball at an object. Talk about a shitty diamond. You have these shops where you can buy different clothes, food, tattoos, all which increase your stats. There's also these little side quests.
I've seen a lot of folks out there lately with some real bad hair. It ain't like it was back in the day when folks took pride. I mean, I've seen some freaky dudes out there.
Oh, you mean like this guy that's standing out in the void? There's a decent bit to explore in these areas. You can buy tickets to events and enter stuff like NBA trivia, spelling bees, okay, free throw shooting, and probably the most memorable, the Dance Dance Revolution-esque minigames. Here you can wash cars to the car wash song, or DJ, or just dance around with the mascots.
Legitness.
There are 2 of these hubs, and I really like them. I think there was supposed to be a 3rd one at Beverly Hills, but maybe they ran out of time. After each tournament you complete, you get points to upgrade your character and attributes that you want to be upgraded, instead of it being performance-based, a change I welcome. And when you get to these last couple of games, the AI doesn't mess around. Damn. Also, one of the last challenges is beating Kobe Bryant in a first to score 81 points game.
Jesus!
This story mode is a massive improvement over the original in every aspect, but after you complete it, there's no way of going back and completing all the optional content, which is a little annoying.
Why he walking like that?
NBA Ballers Phenom is a tough game to judge. In a bubble, it's a really great game, but outside of the story, it's virtually the same exact game as the first one. Like, if the UI wasn't different here, you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference between the first game and this one. It got a little old fast for me because I just came from playing the first game and they're both so similar. There would be one more sequel, NBA Ballers Chosen One. This is where things start getting a little strange. Midway was a leaking bucket of water that's been stabbed by Phil Swift, except replace water with money, and Flex Seal, or in this case NBA Ballers, the Chosen One, was not covering this shit up. This game is also next gen, which gave it even more expectations than normal. There are some changes to the gameplay this time around, but they suck badly. They add in the most worthless feature. This is a mid to late 2000s game on a 7th generation console, so I guess developers are contractually obligated from some higher power or deity to add in these stupid QuickTime events. Again with QuickTime events. This is the 3rd video in a row I'm complaining about this. You have these moves where you activate these QuickTime event sequences. Now these moves are the most overpowered thing ever because they generate a ton of meter. There's no reason to not do anything besides them. The meter system is different and I like the concept, but the execution is horrible. You have 3 levels of meter and you can use these levels kind of like a fighting game. You can use level 1 to steal the ball or use 2 levels to get an automatic basket. But the thing is that these actions are shown with these long, overly drawn out cinematics where the player is in a black void and they spam the replay button over and over and over again, trying so hard to be cool. This looks like shit. Level 3 supers end the game automatically. It's treated like bringing the house down in the other games, but without actually bringing the house down. You run up to this marker and press a button, and another one of these cinematics play where you just dunk the ball. Now, when you destroyed the backboard in the old games, it made sense as to why the game ended. There's no backboard, we can't play anymore. But here you just dunk the ball and the game is over for some reason. And like I said earlier, you could just spam these QuickTime event sequences to build meter and end games in a matter of a couple of possessions. You can lose meter, but you can never lose a level once you earned it. So the back and forth you would have to keep the meter unfilled in the old games is gone. And once you acquire the level 3, the game is a foregone conclusion, because you just walk up to this marker and press a button, as opposed to the older games where you still had to earn that alley-oop. Obviously, this reliance on unbalanced automation kills this game, and it doesn't even look cool. When you counter the QuickTime events on defense, the player just falls backwards like a ghost pushed him, or Aang blew a gust of wind off screen to knock him over. And this stuff doesn't even work in 2v2 modes. Like, what the hell is even going on here? But it gets worse somehow. Chosen One has a story mode, and it's somehow the worst story mode out of all 3 games. It just reverts back to the original NBA Ballers format. You go through arcade-style ladders, and there's no real story. The cutscenes are just rapper Chuck D starting an episode of this show, and once in a while you'll get a cutscene where it's like, ooh, Dwayne Wade has arrived. But there's no actual story here, no explorable hub, no anything. But I guess make way for a 3-point contest where your player moves like the stiffest man alive, moving like the Tin Man before he got oil. And this stipulation that I ran into is so bad, I really do think some developer out there was trolling or something. So there's this stipulation in the story mode where it's a 3-player game and you don't have to check or clear the ball. So naturally, the game just devolves into a damn mosh pit underneath the rim.
Ball score. Kid can't miss from there. Nailed it.
That's why I would prefer in this game, you make a big. You make a big in this game and you just go crazy with the big, or make your players super tall.
The score's the same now.
Like, I don't even get what's going on. Probably the dumbest thing about this game, and if I'm wrong about this, I do apologize, but there's no way to give your guy hair. Like, you have to be bald when you start off this career mode. Like, I've looked into some other gameplays on YouTube and everyone starts off bald.
Yo, how can I change my hair though? I gotta be bald headed.
NBA Ballers Chosen One. Chosen for what? Alopecia? And really, that is the game. This game is about as useful as LeBron without air conditioning. And even besides the things I mentioned, this game lacks any kind of soul. Those cheats you can find in Midway games are gone. A lack of color is apparent. The point system is completely missing, and even things like shooting from the hotspot lack the flame effect on the ball. I don't know if Midway wanted to distance themselves from their old arcadey ways, or if they were just following industry trends that were popular at the time. But in any event, it all led to a poor finale of a game. And that's right, I said finale. Midway would go bankrupt shortly after this and the NBA Ballers series would be no more. And it's kind of sad. NBA Ballers started off great, built a great foundation with the second game, and just fell off on.
I wish somebody would have picked this up, bruh. I wish somebody would have picked this up and did something with it. This is still a good IP. NBA Ballers is still a good IP. You would still make bank off of it today. I would say give it to 2K, but 2K is not trustworthy with it. I would say give it to EA, but EA, I don't trust them either. It's hard to say who to give this IP to because it's a simple IP. It's 1v1. You're playing against players. You're going up a ladder. Bro, somebody needs to get this IP and make another NBA Ballers. Hopefully somebody like Sony could come along and buy it. I could see Sony, they used to make basketball games back in the day. I would love to see them come back and do it, but they have to upgrade the animations for sure, because they can't do it like how they did their old NBA games.
On the third. But the over-the-top arcade sports games was falling by the wayside in the gaming landscape anyway. So sadly, even if those games were all masterpieces, I think they would still be dead today.
Alrighty, man. That's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. NBA Ballers, like I said, the jury is still out for the third NBA Ballers, but right now, from what I've been playing, bro, on that game is shit. That game is shit. That game lacks the soul, everything that NBA Ballers is. The third one is just straight shit right now, but it is what it is. We'll see. But anyways, I'm just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, peace out.